The spaceport on Aranis 5 was alive with its usual cacophony of languages and smells: burned plasma fuel, sizzling street food, the metallic tang of recycled air. Passengers waited in long rows of benches for the interstellar transport to Reiner Prime. Merchants from the crystalline trade guilds hummed among themselves, reptilian mercenaries flexed their claws, and humans in business attire tapped impatiently at their datapads. Then she entered. The alien woman. Her appearance drew immediate reactions. Some turned their heads quickly. Others muttered under their breath. Her skin was rough, almost stone-like, mottled with uneven ridges. One eye was larger than the other, glowing faintly yellow, while her jaw jutted at an uneven angle, showing too many sharp teeth. She wore tattered robes that once might have been ceremonial, but were now worn thin. Everywhere she tried to sit, people shifted away. A reptilian mother pulled her child close, whispering urgently. Two human merchants laughed quietly, shaking their heads. She stopped at one row where a dozen seats remained. Slowly, carefully, she lowered herself onto the bench. Instantly, the others stood and moved elsewhere, leaving her alone. Her shoulders hunched. She lowered her head, as though trying to make herself invisible. The shuttle announcement blared across the terminal. Transport Delta 9 to Rhino Prime, boarding in 30 minutes. And then he arrived. A tall human man in a simple jacket and travel boots walked into the waiting area. He carried no luggage except a worn satchel. His dark hair was streaked with gray at the temples, his eyes calm and searching. His name was Ethan Cole, a drifter who had served in too many wars and now wandered star to star with no real destination. He scanned the benches and saw her, sitting utterly alone, the ugly alien woman whom no one dared approach. Without hesitation, without speaking a word, he walked over and sat beside her. The other passengers stared in disbelief. Whispers rippled through the waiting hall. But Ethan said nothing. He simply leaned back, closed his eyes, and rested. The alien woman turned her uneven gaze toward him, startled. For a long moment, she said nothing either. Then, very softly, almost like a growl, she asked, "Why?" Ethan opened one eye. "Why what? Why sit here? Everyone else moves away." He shrugged. "It's a seat. You're a passenger. That's enough." Her crooked mouth twitched, half smile, half grimace. No one had ever answered her like that before. Middle. Boarding began. The crowd surged toward the transport. As always, passengers avoided her path, letting her shuffle awkwardly behind. Ethan stayed near her without a word. They entered the Starliner Celestial Dawn. Sleek corridors glowed with polished chrome and soft neon lighting. The interior smelled of disinfectant and ionized air. Assigned seats stretched in long rows. Once again, no one wanted her near. Families whispered to attendants, asking for reassignment. Business travelers shook their heads. Within minutes, she was isolated. One entire row cleared for her. Ethan dropped into the seat beside her without asking. The alien woman blinked in confusion. "You don't have to sit here," she muttered. "Maybe I want to," Ethan replied. For several hours, the ship hummed through hyperspace. She sat stiffly, afraid to speak, while he dozed. But when food service began, she could not hide her hunger. The attendants passed her by. No tray was given. Ethan frowned. "Excuse me," he said firmly to the server. "You missed her." The server hesitated. "Sir, that one doesn't. She's a passenger like anyone else," Ethan cut in. His voice carried weight, the tone of someone used to giving orders in war zones. Reluctantly, the attendant placed a tray before her and moved on. The alien woman's mismatched eyes glistened. She whispered, "No one has ever," her voice broke. She lowered her head quickly and began to eat in silence. Hours later, when most passengers slept, she finally spoke again. "My name is Sarah, of the Garathi." Ethan looked at her. Ethan Cole, of Nowhere Anymore. She studied him. "You do not flinch from me. You do not look away. Do you not see my ugliness?" He leaned back. "I see someone who looks tired. And hungry." That's all. Her throat tightened. Among my people I was cast out. The Garathi prized symmetry, beauty. My form was called cursed. I was left to wander. Everywhere I go, people recoil. Ethan's gaze softened. Funny. Where I come from, scars mean survival. They tell stories. For the first time in years, Sarah felt something stir, a fragile warmth where only bitterness had lived. The crisis. Halfway through the journey, alarms blared. The celestial dawn shuddered violently as hostile ships appeared on scanners. Pirates. Chaos erupted. Passengers screamed. The crew sealed bulkheads, but boarding parties breached the hull. Armed raiders stormed in, masked and ruthless. Ethan's instincts sharpened instantly. He grabbed Sarah's arm. Stay low. Stay with me. The pirates corralled passengers, demanding valuables. One raider sneered when he saw Sarah. What's this? They let monsters aboard now. He shoved her brutally. She stumbled, hitting the floor. Ethan stepped between them. Back off. The pirate laughed. Protecting her? You must be desperate. Ethan moved fast. Years of combat training took over. He wrenched the pirate's weapon away and slammed him against the bulkhead. Shots rang out. Panic spread. But more raiders advanced. Ethan fought hard, but he was only one man. He was struck across the face, dropping to one knee. Then Sarah rose. Her body trembled with fury. For years she had hidden her strength, afraid of being seen as more monstrous. But now, the one soul who had shown her kindness lay bleeding. Her ridged skin glowed faintly as ancient Garathi power awakened within her. With a guttural cry, she hurled herself at the pirates. Her jagged teeth bared, her mismatched eyes burning, she struck with terrifying force. They screamed as she ripped through their lines. Weapons clattered, bones cracked. No longer meek, she was fury incarnate. Passengers shrank back in terror, but Ethan, bloodied and gasping, watched with grim pride. When it ended, the raiders lay defeated, scattered across the cabin. Crew security rushed in to finish the job. Sarah stood trembling, her chest heaving, hands stained with blood. She turned slowly, expecting Ethan to recoil in horror like all others had before. But he didn't. He wiped blood from his lip and gave her a faint smile. Remind me never to get on your bad side. Her crooked mouth opened in shock. Then, shakily, awkwardly, she laughed. Ending. The celestial dawn limped into Reiner Prime hours later. Authorities boarded, taking pirates into custody. Passengers gave statements, still shaken. Many whispered fearfully about Sarah's violent display. Some demanded she be removed, quarantined. Others avoided her gaze entirely. But Ethan stayed at her side, silent and steady. When disembarkation began, she hesitated at the ramp. If I leave, they will follow me with whispers and fear. Always it is the same. Ethan adjusted the strap of his satchel. Then don't leave alone. She blinked. You would walk with me? He nodded. Someone's got to keep people from stealing your seat. Her throat tightened. She looked away quickly, hiding tears. Together they stepped into the bustling port city of Reiner Prime. Crowds parted uneasily at the sight of her, but this time, she did not bow her head. Because beside her walked the one human who